Hello, welcome back to the channel. So, I'm on the hype train for Epic Battles Hail Caesar. So, what we're May now. So, May, June, July. Hopefully, it'll all be out. I'm fiendishly painting up some Epic Battles Pike and Shot right now to feel less guilty about the amount of Epic Battles Pike and Shot I have. But whilst I've been doing the videos and getting my materials out and reading about the Punic Wars, got me thinking. I came across some of my old rule sets, and that got me thinking about how wargaming was and where I started. So, for me, historical wargaming really started about 1990. So, what did wargaming look like then compared to now? I thought I'd just chat about it. So, now we have some really nice produced Wargames rules. Pretty much every rule set now will have color pictures in it, be nice, even just to look through and be inspired by. Certainly, Hail Caesar fits that bill. It's supported by nice army lists. Again, full color supplements for that. And when I'm sort of thinking about army composition, I'll also get a 360 view on periods by using other army lists and supplements as well. Generally, pick up supplements for periods that interest me, even if I don't do the rules. So I just get a better scope for how armies were constructed. Say constructed, how armies looked and felt on the battlefield. And we're also supported by a plethora of great uniform guides, histories, even the Offsprays, the mighty Offsprays. And I want to talk about Offsprays then and now. We've got series like Campaign and Combat. Actually, the combat books are great. They are my go-to now if I'm interested in a period because it gives you some real detail of what it was like on the ground, not a high level overview that the campaign books give you. And it's also got artwork like this from one point of view to the other point of view. Yeah, great set of books. If you've not picked up an Offspray Combat, I recommend doing so. But anyway, let's go back to 1990 where I started. So this is what Wargames Rules look like. A5 stapled together. The only graphics you generally had was on the front cover. Often had lots of tables. This is 7th edition, so we talk about new edition and Wargames rules creep these days. It's always been part of the hobby. And inside, type text, even there you go, 7th edition, there were changes and editing things that needed to happen. This isn't my set of rules. I've not played 7th edition. This was done by the Wargames Research Group, WRG, so this was known as WRG 7th edition. I've picked this up out of nostalgia, and there you go. So that's your text. It was generally written to be almost like a tournament match play game, your army versus my army. I took a photo of this because it did acknowledge that scenarios or campaign battles could happen, but a lot of it were all about convention and convention playing and stuff. As you can see, type text is quite dense, quite difficult to get into, a lot of detail in it without much in the way of diagrams to explain it. So that was the granddaddy of ancient war games rules back in the day. Next up, we had big revolution in gaming. So DBA. So DBA was designed to be fast play ancients. Your army's 12 elements. DBA is still going strong. I've recently picked up the updated DBA and DBM rule sets. I've always had a soft spot for them. Still the A5 format, staples on the side. Often you get a bit of rust on the staples bleeding through, but it was the sort of similar text, a little in the way of diagrams again, although I think there was a diagram at the back talking about campaigns. The basing system was quite cool at the time. So it was each element had a set number of troops on, depending on the class, and that was able to use the same basis system for DBA, which were 12 elements, into DBM, which was sort of big games. So and we played loads of DBA. My first job was working in a supermarket, stacking shelves at the weekend. So I was able to get a game of DBA and get with my pal on lunch breaks. We had some terrain in the armies in our locker, and we break them out. I think I was using some sort of Byzantine army, and my pal often used a Mongol army. There you go. So this was what the army lists are like for DBA. Still not changed that much. Even back then, this is my book I've had for years. You can see I'd planned a Gallic list, underlined. So like, if you check there, the sort of number is how many bases you've got. So I'm looking at the Gallic list there, which is underlined. So 4 bases of 3 cavalry, 6 bases of 3 warbands, and 2 bases of 2 soli. So not a massive model count for 15 mil, so you could collect some armies there. But again, not a lot of inspiration in terms of artwork and pictures and stuff. But the Wargames Research Group did do a series of books. This is Armies of Macedonian Punic Wars, Armies and Enemies of Imperial Rome, and I think I've got one for Middle Ages as well. So this was my granddaddy tome that I always went to. You had details of the armies, the nations that fought, key battles, bit of history. But again, you still got a lot of black and white. But what this had was a lot of line drawings of the unit types, descriptions of the unit types, and in the descriptions, if we had details of uniform colours or shield design colours, that would be in there as well. So these were the grails at the time, and of course there were Offspring books back then. So Men at Arms series was the series, and these are still in print. Not massive, but what they did have was the color plates, and we didn't get a lot of color plates back then, as you've probably seen. Wargaming was monocolored, uh, but these Angus McBride, I think, fantastic, inspirational pictures. Um, but there was only 8 of them in the book, so let's not kid ourselves. A lot of Offspring books looked like this, which actually, especially the ancient ones, sort of the modern ones, could have photos in it. Uh, Line drawings of artifacts from museums with text, but it was enough to inspire me. Ancients had a big hold on me when I was, Ancients and American Civil War were the two main wargaming periods, historical wargaming periods it did when I was younger. So even if we didn't have the bright, shiny resources, there was enough there to inspire me. These days, we've got the bright, shiny Wargames rules. We've got new ways of Osprey books. We've got new uniform books. Colors everywhere. We've got the internet. Um, say Wargaming never had it so good. But if we go back and think about where we were and where we came from, the 90s was a massive change for Wargames rules and how they were presented. But yeah, I don't know what a point I was really going to make, but this is more just a reminiscent and a trip down memory lane for us. But anyway, thanks for watching. Um, Let us know where you started off with wargaming. What was your historical wargaming? What was your kind of the thing that hooked you to historical wargaming? That's what I'm really interested in. And yeah, let us know how you're getting on, and let us know what your plans are for Epic Battles Hail Caesar. So bye for now. Goodbye.